Hello friends, welcome to my channel once again. In today's video, I will teach you all the poem Fire and Ice written by Robert Frost. First of all, let us see a brief introduction of the poet Robert Frost. Robert Lee Frost was born on 26th March 1874 in San Francisco, United States of America. He was an American poet. His work was initially published in England and later it was published in the United States of America. If you see, his poems are mostly written on life experiences. He has written famous poems like Stopping
By
on a Snowy Evening, Dust of Snow, then we have The Mending Wall, etc. From these poems, we see that he talks about life, especially rural life experiences, the realistic view about life. Now, let us see a short background that inspired Robert Frost to write this poem. It was in a science and arts presentation when Robert Frost happened to meet the astronomer by name Harlow Shapley, and he asked the astronomer that what is his view about how the world what what he feels about how the world would end. Harlow Shapley replied that either the sun will explode, it will burst, and it will incinerate the earth. Incinerate meaning to burn the earth, and even if the earth somehow is able to escape this fate, it will ice would freeze and the temperature will go so low that it will be impossible for human beings or life.
on Earth.
So this poem Fire and Ice is one of the is one of poet's epigrams. Epigram is a pointed saying. It's a joke, but it's a meaningful joke. So this poem Fire and Ice is an epigram. If you see the date of its publication, it was published in the year 1920, soon after, shortly after the end of World War First. So this scenario had greatly, and
Take the
because of that,
poet's mind.
he has written this poem, Fire and Ice, and that is why he speaks about how the world would end. Fire and Ice. Now let us read the poem. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. But what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. What does the poet say? Some say, meaning some people, they think that the world will end in fire. Now, there are two meanings for this poem. One is the literal meaning, fire meaning flame. If it is if it continues to burn without control, it can be dangerous. It can cause destruction. So, this is the literal meaning of the word fire. Some say the world will end in fire, or the temperature will increase so much that it will be impossible for human beings, or it will be impossible for life on earth. So some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. Fire meaning, according to the poet has taken these natural elements, fire and ice, natural disasters, we can say. Fire has got deeper meaning. Fire represents, fire meaning desire, it means desire, lust, lust, greed that people have. People are so much greedy. People are so much greedy. People have so much lust that they are not bothered about others. If one, let us take one example. Human beings want, are not satisfied. If one want is satisfied, we are craving for other. Suppose if I have a small house, tomorrow I will desire to have a bungalow. If I have a bungalow, I will desire a two-storied bungalow. In the process, what human beings they are doing, they are cut down trees, they are disturbing the environment, and in this way the world will end. Since our wants are unlimited, we keep on manufacturing products. While we manufacture products one after another, we are releasing smokes in our natural environment, which is further destructing it. So in this way, the poet say, in our desire, in our greediness, we will put an end. We have so much capacity that we will end this world by our greediness. Even Lord Buddha, the world psychologist, has said that human beings' wants, they never end. If one desire is satisfied, he craves for another. So in the process, what happens is that he loses humanity in him, and in this way the world will end if you are inhumane. That is what the poet say in the first line. Second line, some say in ice. Some people they say the world will end in ice, or some say in fires, and some say in ice. Some say in ice will freeze, the temperature will go so low, and again life on earth would be impossible to have or survive. So some say in ice. Ice represents feelings of indifference. Human beings, this is literal meaning, ice. The temperature would go less, ice would freeze, the temperature would go so low that it would be impossible for us to survive. Some say, so ice can also destroy the world. Ice represents feelings of indifference, indifference or insensitive, insensitive. People are so greedy, people are so greedy, they are having so much lust that they become indifferent, or they are not sensitive towards issues or what is happening around them. They are losing humanity in them. So these qualities in them will destroy themselves. This is what the poet says. Take for example, if we are not concerned about what is happening around us. Take the recent issue of Indra Kumar Meghwal from Rajasthan, who was beaten to death by his teacher for drinking water from his pot. If we are not sensitive towards this issue, towards what is happening in the society, that means we are losing humanity in them, humanity in us. And in this way, the world will, and this is what the poet says. If we are not concerned about the farmers who provide food to the entire community, and they have to agitate. Presently, they are agitating, demanding the government that the prices of the products they produce should be fixed by them and not by the businessmen who decide the prices for their product. So the poet has taken these two natural elements which has the capacity to end the world, but these are symbolic, these are two symbols that the poet has used in order to tell us that if human beings they do not, if they don't improve their behavior, if they are not humane, if they continue to lose humanity in them, then surely the world will end. Remember that this poem was published soon after the soon after the World War First. So the poet has seen the destruction that the fight caused, destruction that the war caused. So many people they had lost their lives. There was bloodshed everywhere. Economic crisis. Okay, so everything this scene had so much impact on the poet that he has written this poem to warn us. This poem is a powerful warning to us to change our behavior. If we continue to be indifferent, if we continue to be desirous, if we continue to be greedy, then the world will end. But what I have tasted of desire, third line, what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But what the poet says, but what I have tasted of desire, meaning, but what I have experienced from the behavior of the people, I hold, meaning I agree with those people who say that the world will end in fire. Fire meaning desire, people's greediness has more power to end this world than ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold, meaning I agree. This the meaning of this phrase is asked in the exam. So remember that I hold, meaning I agree with those people who say that the world will end in fire. Fire meaning desire or in their greediness. And see in this first stanza, another thing that you will have to remember is that figure of speech is is usually asked for 1 mark in the exam. So some say this is the repetition of word. So this the figure of speech in this line is some say, some say. The figure of speech is a repetition. Repetition. See the spelling? Repetition. And another figure of speech is that the poet has used these fires symbolically, which means desire, lust, greed. So fire is compared with desire, lust, greed. There is an indirect comparison metaphor. So this figure of speech is metaphor. Fire and ice. The poet has two poetic devices. Fire and ice is metaphor. Fire and ice, metaphor. Okay. So, but what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Now, let us see the second stanza of the poem. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate. For destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Now, in the first stanza, these 4 lines, they are continuous. There is no full stop, comma, pause in between. So that is called as enjambment. It is called as enjambment. Let us see the second stanza. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate. But if it had to perish twice, it meaning the world. The poet is referring to the world. If it had to perish twice, meaning if the world had to perish, perish meaning destroy, completely destroy, completely destroy. If the world was to destroy twice, twice meaning 2 times. If the world get destroyed twice, why yes, why say so is because human beings, they have so much capacity in them that they can destroy the world 2 times. So the world was to destroy 2 times, the poet says, I think I know enough of hate. For destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. The poet says that hatredness, the quality of hatredness is also having so much capacity that this vice in human being can destroy the world. Right? There is no need that human being should be so much desirous, so much greedy. But even when one person hates another and he carries out wars, he keeps on fighting, or out of hate, one person kills another on the basis of caste, religion. In this way, also, the world will end when we hate one another. So this hatredness is so ill that it has the capacity to destroy the whole world, is also great and would suffice meaning enough. This wise is enough, suffice enough. It is so much enough that it can destroy the whole world. Okay, so this is all about this poem. It is written by Robert Frost. If you have liked the poem, you can please like, share and